Hey everybody, it's been a long time since we talked about the apple cider vinegar, and this is how it is. I haven't done anything with it. When I was convinced that it was done turning into vinegar, I had put a top and band on this 4-mason jar. So in other words, I took the cloth off, and since then everything has settled. So now you can see the liquid is much more translucent like we would expect, but I have got a lot of material in here. Now, I think the majority of this is going to be sediment from the apples, because I really mashed them perhaps a little too much. So one question in the last video was whether or not I have tested it, whether or not it went all the way. And for some reason, I didn't even think twice about it. I kind of said, well, how do you expect me to do that? Which probably came across really snippy. It wasn't very long afterwards that I realized, Jared, you have litmus paper. It's perfect. It's what it's for. So while we're here, I'm going to tear off one of these little litmus test strips, and we'll take a look. Let's see whether or not we've gone full on acid. So here's our scale to judge it by. And I would say we're all the way down there at a 1. I think that we are full acid. So that kind of answers the question that yes, it has fully converted to vinegar. So now I need to find out whether or not some of this has got to be mother, or it wouldn't really have turned. But I've got to get the liquid out and then figure out what's really going on here. So the only way I know to do that is to siphon it. So I've cut off a small piece of this plastic tubing, and I'm just going to try to keep this above the sediment and siphon it into these other mason jars. So we're precariously perched on top of this pickle jar. And we're siphoning. I'll be back in just a minute when this is done. Okay, we're almost there. Don't go anywhere. We're nearly done. We might get it all into this one jar. Okay, so I went to try to get that last 1/4 inch worth off the surface of that and ended up stirring it up and lost the siphon and everything. So we've got one jar there. And now the question is, how much of this is mother or not? And I really don't know. The only thing I know to do is pour this out into a big bowl and see what we have. Hopefully, with it sitting here as long as it has, the mother itself will remain relatively intact, and hopefully any debris just goes away. So we'll give it a try. Okay, so I've got this Pyrex dish, and I've just washed it to try to make sure we're keeping everything clean, and my hands. And the Pyrex dish is really just so you guys can try to see what's going on. And I'm gonna do my best to pour this out nice and slow. See, everything's really fibrous still, and I was really expecting to get that I don't know, more solid structure. It just doesn't seem to be what I'm going to get. So you can see that's what we've got. That's it. So I want to start another batch of apple cider vinegar, and I'm guessing that if I use some of this that it'll work. But my question is, you know, is there anything that you know that I can do to try to get this so I get that almost like a kombucha SCOBY, you know, where it's a more solid structure, like a gelatinous thing of yeast. So let me know what you think. If you want to know how I'm going to do the next batch, just go back and watch the first video. I'll put a little link up here and down in the description, and you can watch the first video again. The only thing I'm really going to change is I'm going to use more sliced apple and just big pieces of peel, and try to avoid getting this goopy mixture of essentially processed applesauce. So that's going to be the only change. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Now, how exactly did I do that the first time? Aha.